Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the first road trip of the season. And to be honest with you, I'm not trying to hear, it's just another friendly. It's not really a road trip because, this, that and the other. No, it matters. We're on our way to Wembley. It is the Community Shield. Of course, I've said the disclaimers already, yeah? If we lose, don't matter. Just to get some minutes in the tank. You know what I mean? Trying to get players fit before the start of the season. If we win, then hold that Man City everyone said was going to lose. And it's another trophy. But really, it's something in between, innit? Let's not play this down. We don't want to start... not start the season, but you don't want the game before you start the season. You don't want to go out there and get humiliated and have a shit performance. But at the same time, you do want to use it as another chance to just get everybody ready, give everybody a little bit of extra time before we get to next Friday. Because obviously that is when the points are on the line. And listen, it's against Man City. So, yeah, it's another Manchester derby at Wembley. Like, it's becoming... I remember the first time we played them in the FA Cup, when we lost, year before last. I can't remember how long that hadn't happened before. And now we're playing these lot at Wembley all the time. But, yeah, big game. It's always a big game. I don't care what anyone says, and I will stick by that. But we've been worried. We've been worried with the lack of availability of players, the injury doubts that Eric spoke about during the press conference, and the sheer lack of availability really from certain players of the squad. And also, we know what players are coming back into the team in terms of not having a pre-season with us, but they're going to be in the squad. And if we talk about those players, that'll be Dallo, that'll be Garnacho, that'll be Kobbie Mainoo, and that'll be Bruno. And let's be honest, especially last season, all four of those were very, very important to our first team. Oh, and Alessandro Martinez as well, that's 5. Luke Shaw, I'm kind of not counting as the 6th because apparently he's doubtful. So, but you get my gist. He's doubtful, but that means it doesn't mean he's out. It means he could just maybe not start or only play limited minutes so that he is ready for Fulham. We don't know what it is. It was when people saw that, including me, that he's doubtful, we just went, what's the point? But again, it's not something that we didn't know. He's gone away to make himself available for England because he was at the back end of his recovery, to be fair, and had loads of setbacks, got himself fit. And now is a doubt for in essentially what is another pre-season game where he can play or should be able to play because he's had his rest from England. Now, the only way I can see him being a doubt is if there's been some form of other setback. But I must stress, I'm not trying to just be negative for the sake of it. We don't actually know that. Maybe he's been out so long. Maybe Erik ten Hag's being so cautious that he's like, nope, I just don't want to risk him in the Charity Shield or start him and then play him too long and then he gets mashed up and then we can't start him against Fulham. However, like Owen spoke about on the Trinity yesterday, already that is a problem because you're basically into Varane territory. Ghost Rafe the Phantom. Can't wait to see him play in his new team. But you're basically into that. You're basically into that whereby you're mollycoddling the player and you literally have to manage their minutes so carefully through everything. Like, again, lack of availability. So that's not great. But what sort of team will we put out? I mean, I think that the main thing is making sure people obviously don't get injured for the start of the season. But also, we're so cursed. Like KG said it as well. We're so cursed. It's like, we just don't want our players to just be involved in normal football stuff anymore. I don't know how you feel, but watching every game, I just don't want them to get any contact. I don't want them to have the odd bump or twist or turn or, you know what I mean? They might fall over or like be explosive. I'm just like, I'm forgetting that these are our footballers. These are our players. Like we need them to play 100%. But because we've been cursed by injury, we just don't want them to do normal footballer things. Like this is pre-season. This is the Charity Shield. This is Wembley. I want our best players out there so we can win the Charity Shield. So we can build up momentum ahead of the Fulham game. But at the same time, I'm like, don't risk this player and this, that and the other. But then it's like, well, other players have not been there for pre-season. Like Bruno needs minutes. Kobbie needs minutes. Diogo Dallo needs minutes. Garnacho, hopefully, needs some minutes. But on the same time, you want to get some continuity that has been on tour from the players that are good enough. And you're looking at Rashford, who's played all through pre-season, looked quite sharp. You're looking at Jadon Sancho and obviously Joshua Zirkzee hasn't, I haven't actually mentioned him yet. Joshua Zirkzee obviously couldn't join up with us, but is fit, but has just never played with us before. So really, he needs minutes because we're going into the Premier League where it actually matters next week. if, you know, we need to start Zirkzee or want to play with him, he needs to have a look at the team. We need to have a look at him with the team. So really, he probably should start today, or get significant minutes. But then Sancho's been playing the whole way through, but he might leave, this, that, and the other. It's up and down. And then you get to Ahmad and you're like, okay, Garnacho hasn't played in pre-season, but Ahmad has been playing in pre-season, and really this is his time, and he deserves to start the new season as the starting right winger. And then Garnacho just comes in where he needs to, and we go from there. We've got solid options. Midfield is massively worrying. I've said this many, many times. We know this. There hasn't been the outgoings that we would have liked, and there definitely hasn't been the incomings we would have liked. There's been none in midfield, which is really, really worrying. You know, Eriksen's still here, Scott McTominay's still here, Casemiro obviously is still going to be here, but we haven't brought anyone in, and Bruno and Kobe haven't been part of the team. So it's like, if you roll out in this game, Toby Collier, young lad who's he's had a good pre-season, you know, alongside Casemiro, and let's say Mason Mount, because that's what it's kind of been in the pre-season, we're going to get cooked. It's as simple as that. It's going to get cooked. Obviously, I think Bruno will start, though. I think maybe Kobe will start, and those guys will end up coming off. Because I do think we need to see them from the start. We can't just be, you know, worried about every single thing in terms of injuries, because we just won't get nowhere. We won't get anywhere. I think this is interesting for Harry Amas as well, because Harry's played all the way through the pre-season. He's looked good. Obviously, of course, he's raw. I would say he's probably not. I wouldn't say he's ready to play week in, week out in the Premier League. That's probably not the plan right now. The plan obviously is to get Luke Shaw fit again so he could play. Get the deal done on the right hand side for Wan-Bissaka, which looks like it progressed overnight. Mazraoui comes in. He can fill in at left and right back. Dallo can go to the left back, and Mazraoui can play right back. Just rob Peter to pay Paul, basically, and shuffle things around. So Ramallas is a couple of months off even getting back into team training or being back. I just don't count him right now. He's had such a significant injury. So maybe Harry Amas could actually start. That's it. And if he does, I actually think it'll be good. Of course, it'll be difficult. You know, he played against Salah last week, and I don't know if Foden's back yet, but I don't know who they got out there, City. But, you know, it's Man City at Wembley. It'll be great for Harry to sort of almost be rewarded, really, for playing through pre-season, and then just give him a big test at the end. And we might need him against Fulham, depending on who's fit or who's not come to the football club yet, because Mazraoui might not be in yet, or you don't know how quick these things are going to go or how slow they're going to go. So I think Harry Amas could start, and I actually think that would be a good thing. But we have to have that expectation or that acceptance that will be a tough task for him. Mason Mount's been playing all the way through the pre-season. We need Mason to be like a new signing. I've said this. I'm backing him, Matt. I'm backing him this year. I know I'm not really sure what the plan is, because it's a guessing game, isn't it? Like, well, we know he's not going to play instead of Bruno in a straight-out 10. So where is he going to be used? Is he going to be deployed as a 6? Like a double pivot? Are we going to see a tactical change where how we played against Man City with that 4-4-2 formation, but narrow sort of central midfielders going through the spine of the team, sort of like 2 sit-ins, then like, you know, some 2 10s as opposed to that? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I just feel like Mason Mount's going to be a good player for us. I've stood by that the whole time. I think he's a good footballer. I think he's a clever footballer. I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to be the standout player every single game, who is the best at this particular one thing. But I think that he could be an important cog in a decent team. And I think that this will be his breakout season, because obviously he's written off last year. But that remains to be seen. But I hope he is. And at centre-half today, look, we're very, very limited. I think it was only, Evans and who else was it? Was it Martinez that are available? I think Maguire is a doubt. Lindelof is a doubt. Evans has had pre-season. You know, Lisandro Martinez hasn't had pre-season, but he's played all the way through Copa America, come back and looks okay, but you still have to be careful with him. So look, at centre half, we're going to be in trouble. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, this could be his last game today if he does play. I think overnight we saw some real positive signs that he's going to be leaving and going to West Ham, which again, we're waiting for a domino to fall so that the rest all fall into place. So would be sad to see him leave, but probably the right decision in my eyes. So let's see what it is, man. But listen, it's Wembley. The fans are out. Whenever you go Wembley, you want to win. I'm still going to predict that we're going to win. They've got players missing as well. It's not going to be easy, especially if we've got a dead back four. But yeah, it could get peak, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm going to stay optimistic. Manchester United 2, Man City 1. Let's go with that. I'll see you after the game with all the reactions from Wembley. Take care, guys. Peace.